Hello everyone. Today I'd like to share a story with you. A story about a small act of obedience by the widow of Zarephath. Let me begin with her story. She was a widow, a woman whose name was never even recorded in the Bible. She lived in Zarephath, a Gentile land, struggling to survive each day in the midst of a severe drought and famine. All she had left was a handful of flour, a little oil, and a starving child. Can you imagine? You have just one meal left, and you're planning to share it with your child before quietly preparing to die. That was her reality, utter despair. Then a stranger appears, and he says something shocking. Make something for me first. What a selfish thing to say, right? But that man was Elijah, the prophet of God. And behind his words was a promise from the Lord. Your jar of flour will not be used up, and your jug of oil will not run dry. If it were you, would you have the courage to believe that promise? This woman hesitated, but then she reached for what little she had left and made bread for the stranger. And then something amazing happened. Just as Elijah had said, a miracle occurred. Her jar never emptied, and the oil never ran out. As I reflected on this story, I couldn't help but think of my own Zarephath moments. There were times in my life when all I had left was a handful of strength. I was exhausted, juggling responsibilities as a mother, a woman in society, and a believer trying to stay faithful. And in those quiet, weary moments, God gently whispered to me, "Will you give me your last handful of faith?" The widow of Zarephath wasn't a powerful woman. She didn't have status or influence, but her one choice saved a prophet, restored her household, and revealed the living presence of God. Even now, God works through our small decisions, little acts of courage, and quiet obedience. Each of us today may be standing in the middle of our own Zarephath, and if you've ever thought, maybe this is my last effort before I give up, then maybe, just maybe, that's exactly when a miracle begins. Your handful of faith, your choice today, might just become part of God's unfolding story. And remember, when we give thanks in every situation, gratitude brings more gratitude. Have a blessed and joyful day. Thank you for watching. Next time, we'll return with the story of Judith, the woman who beheaded Holofernes. Your likes and subscriptions are a huge help to keep this content going.